More ghosts on the way. They do have the ability to use EMP, which is very good against High Templar and Sentries. Not so much against units that don't have energy. He's going to see this. He's going to see Vikings. He's going to see them all. And he's going to continue to get good scouting information here. The reason why that is important is if he sees these Vikings, a lot of time players will go for a lot more ground units, go for Immortals to deal with the Marauders. He will see that Marauders, especially when they have concussive shell, are very effective. Now, ship level weapons 2 is also going to be produced by the Terran opponent Zor. And a lot of High Templar are being made by Harbinger. He wants to get their energy up since they no longer have that Kadarian amulet, so they can't get Psystorm right off the bat. They do have to wait just a little bit. Another brilliant scan. I do got to hand it to Zor. His scan use has been phenomenal. However, his economy may suffer from that somewhat. Never mind that. As I look at the income tab, there is a huge difference. Now, if we take a look at the size of the army right now, it seems like more supply is being spent by Zor. And there are also more workers. So it seems like that will catapult him into the lead here. Very risky indeed. And this third expansion has been seized. That will allow him to do pretty well, but he should be able to get more buildings shortly. He is going to go for Gravatic boosters, so he will be able to get his observers to move faster. A fourth expansion is being put down by Zor. That is pretty huge. However, at this point, Harbinger is going to attack, so he will be able to... Oh, max army for Zor. So this is a crucial attack timing. The Vikings will move forward as well, as he is able to see them coming. With some form of sixth sense, he will scan them all again, see exactly the composition, realize he doesn't have... Well, now he has a third Colossus, and he saw that as well. He could poke forward with some cloaked... he could go forward with some cloaked ghosts, but they don't have cloak. He does get a feedback, but they die instantly. That was amazing. I liked that. They just got feedback. Like a pro, he destroys those ghosts like they weren't even there. Good play. Now this Marine by Zor is going to move into position on that Zelnaga Watchtower. He will be able to get complete vision of this army when it advances. Now the Vikings are going to go ahead and try and focus on those Colossi. It's not very effective, as these Zealots will be able to push the rest of the army back. And it seems like these Colossi will in fact survive. You may see, yes, good idea for Harbinger to pull back. His Colossus did not get damaged that much, as the fact that there were so many Zealots doing damage. Now this expansion is going to be kaput. However, the Marauders are going to move forward and stem. He should move his army back, as he wasted a stem and now has to heal. But those concussive shells will... Now the scan there, not very effective. He is going to see whether or not he will go back. Zor knows how to use his scans, but I prefer to use them on mules. Now, however, the Terran infantry is getting their third upgrade, and a large warp-in is complete. A lot of units being put back into production. They are maxed out. Now, if we look again, it seems like the army is now once again in favor of Harbinger. Now, let's see what exactly is going on at this point. An expansion is going to be built once again by Zor, but instead he's going to build it closer to his third, so that he has the ability to easily go ahead and lift his base over once it is safe. That was very aggressive of him not to seize this middle ground. There are a lot of medevacs as well. If we look at the unit counting station, we do see that there are 4 Colossus to 6 Vikings. 6 Vikings can do some serious damage, but an Immortal is also being produced. He is going for ground armor level 2, and ship weapons and infantry armor are being upgraded as well. So the upgrades are better in favor of Zor. He is 2-3 on his land army. Meanwhile, kind of only the Protoss armor upgrade, only one of them for Harbinger. He could go for more. Now that scan wasn't as effective. He, however, does know that there is not an army very close to him. He can kind of reach around, destroy these destructible rocks, and do some significant damage. And that's actually what Harbinger is going to do as well. However, having the high ground allows these Marauders to take out, seems like, a Zealot, and will put him back. Another Observer being produced. He does have one that's able to move around very quickly and follow that army back to the middle of the map. He will be able to see that. This is a very good game. I'm learning a thing or two about the overall macro game, as you can see here. The proper way to do it. I do believe that Zor is a little bit behind. He needs more Vikings. He's also going to make his expansion into a planetary fortress that will allow it to be defended very well. Now, if we look at the income tab, now it seems as though Harbinger's doing a bit better. He is basically out of minerals in his first 2 expansions, so they are running on the economy of 2 bases. However, there are some workers not doing any work. Sorry for the redundancy of that comment there. Now, there are a lot of zealots. In fact, there is a total of 38. So that allows those marauders to basically have a lot to deal with. I think a lot of times having charge allows them to combat that issue of why is it evading me? The concussive shells, thank you. The concussive shells aren't as effective when you have the ability to move forward. However, the stalkers are actually in front, and that's not the best. You want those to stay back and defend yourself against a lot of the aggression from the Vikings. However, there are no more Vikings in the current battle. They are going to stay back, and it seems like these Colossi are doing just so much damage at this point, destroying so many of those infantry units, even though they are armored. Now the Zealots will crush even more. Feedback going down on those medevacs. He didn't manage to destroy one. Now you can see a warp-in coming quick any second now. An expansion has been seized by Harbinger. However, he needs to keep his army in this area to defend it instead of pulling all the way back. However, he may be reserving the right to cancel that if further aggression does come forward. Now, 4 more gates coming down. That will help him in the middle of this combat, so he can constantly warp in more units to reinforce himself. He has the economy to do so, and it's basically the matter of getting enough gates, playing some SimCity, buildings, buildings, buildings. A lot more stalkers now being warped in for him. Looking at the composition now, he still has a lot of zealots, but he is relying more on those. Now, how many High Templar does he have? He seems to have 5. He's hiding them, however, playing them a little bit back so that they do have full energy, so you will be able to see Psy Storms. But if we go ahead and take a look at, I don't know why, seems like I was in the observer's point of view that whole time. Now, the Planetary Fortress is finished. I don't know why he's deciding to build SCVs, maybe in case he loses a unit. Now, another observer is being made, as well as ground level weapons 1 and armor 3, getting those defensive upgrades because of the increased damage from concussive shell. Now, let's see here. There are 5 Colossus that are not defending this expansion. He needs to move his army forward. He's going to lose this in a matter of moments, and sure enough, there it goes. The Vikings are a little bit ahead, being very, very progressive. Now, he is actually going to reach around. There are a lot of cloaked ghosts here, able to do some damage. Some EMPs going down on the High Templar, but that was actually a bad engagement for Harbinger. He's going to lose both of these Colossi. Oh no, Harbinger, you need to play back. This is dangerous indeed. Very risky business. He needs to stay back once more. He's going to lose another one. That Colossus couldn't go anywhere. There are now no Colossus in the battlefield for Harbinger. He may elect to go for a lot of gateway units or fast immortals. He only has 1 robotics facility. He is so far behind right now. He may end up losing this because of that bad engagement. Those ghosts did some damage. These marauders are going to move forward, and he's going to lose a lot more units. A lot of stalkers being put in the fray. The Zealots now not very high in number. The marauders able to move forward. Psy Storms coming down, doing some damage, but that army is all in the orange. These stalkers can do some damage if he focus fires and micros properly. The Vikings not doing anything. Will they land? No, the army is actually going to pull back for Harbinger as he loses another expansion. He is so far behind right now as the Terran opponent is bringing in 10 more marauders. He needs to attack and do significant damage right now. No special tactics are available for Harbinger. He is losing more and more. Blink coming into play, trying to micro his units as effectively as possible, but he just doesn't have enough. He's trying to get the chrono boost on the gates, and it seems like that will be it. You can anticipate a fast GG here anytime. More units moving forward with the marauders, destroying his gateways. Wow. Good engagement by Zor. More zealots on the way, though. They may be able to destroy that one Viking. Gonna move forward, destroy another marauder. Will they be able to pick up? Yes, they will, and that stalker will just fire pew 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 1 bit at a time. Oh, that was so close by Harbinger, but he lost 2 expansions. That basically crushed him. He has no income right now, except for distance mining, if anything. He lost both of his expansions. So, that is GG, basically. You will not see anything more. That is victory for Zor. I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it, but that's the way it goes sometimes. There are a few Zealots here to do damage, but there is no way he can win this. This should be a late GG, but with that much, he used all his minerals and lost his expansions trying to save himself this Colossus. Yep, GG, well played. A very good macro game. A little bit of recap. In the future, I'll try and do more along the lines of actually going back into the replay and saying critical moments. In this case, it was more macro intensive. You saw large amounts of expansions, a lot of unit composition critiques that I'll give here, as far as saying there were a lot of Marauders, and that was a huge reason for Zor's winning the game. He went for those concussive shells, got a large amount of medevacs to support himself and some Vikings, took out the Colossi. Now, once those Colossi were gone and he was able to focus on the Zealots incoming, there was no real threat to him. Colossus are so important. Once he destroyed those two expansions, that was game over. Harbinger actually had the possibility to win, but he got caught in a bad engagement, and that's why he lost. So I do wish both of these players the best of luck. I do have more Harbinger replays on the way, so we will see more Protoss today. Thanks for viewing. I hope you enjoyed this replay, and I hope you learned a thing or two. I know I did. And I will see you guys next time.